Yo, welcome to Sig Slayers, the comic signature show, period. I'm Mike the Sig Slayer, chilling with Mark, the honorable villain. What's up, fam?
What's up, Mike? We got a doozy on our hands. Sig Slayers in espanol.
Yes, sir. Joining us today, we have legendary artist Eduardo Risso joining us. That's what's up. I can't wait. But before we talk to Eduardo, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please comment. All right. Our next guest is a brilliant artist out of Argentina. You have seen his work on 100 Bullets, Batman, Flashpoint, and Detective Comics. Ladies and gentlemen of the Stash Slam, we bring to you the one and only Eduardo Risso. Eduardo, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. These American guys are amazing. Good guys.
Eduardo, since it's your first time on the show, tell us about your comic book origin story. How did you get your first job in comics?
Golpeando puertas de las editoriales nacionales en Argentina.
And what was the first job? What comic book title?
It was a movie adaptation.
Firefox movie adaptation. ¿Qué años?
1982.
1982. You're dealing with an OG right there, man. That's great.
My career is very extensive.
Tell us about the comic community when you're growing up in Rosario. What characters were the most popular?
Just 2 minutes. I was grow up in Rosario.
Oh, no?
I grew up in a little town called Leones. Mm-hmm.
What was it like in Leones?
It's a little town. No more than 10,000 people. I never saw Batman, just for instance, till my adult.
Really? Well, so you didn't see Batman until you were an adult. Who was your first influence in comic books as an artist?
Enrique Brecha was a master in Argentina, mostly from Europe, and many other artists. At that time, I took everything from everyone.
No Solano Lopez?
No me gustaba tanto. I didn't like Solano. He's a great master. Mm-hmm. I know to teach me. At that time when I needed to learn more about comics, he wasn't the best option for me.
¿Cuáles fueron los desafíos de iniciar la convención de cómics Crack Bang Boom?
Eso sí que es muy difícil. A ver, yo tenía la idea dando vueltas en mi cabeza desde hacía algún tiempo, pero no quería llevar a hacer un evento que fuera donde no estuviera el Estado involucrado. No se puede hacer este tipo de eventos en nuestros países de manera privada, porque cuando uno hace un evento privado solamente persigue el camino del dinero, y no era esa la intención que yo tenía para este evento, para este tipo de evento. Nuestro evento es muy parecido a lo que se hace en Europa. Acá los eventos en Europa generalmente tienen el apoyo de los gobiernos, ya sea municipales o de los estados, para que estos puedan seguir adelante. Ese es un poco la idea que yo tenía y por suerte conseguí que el gobierno de la ciudad se involucrara con el evento y hoy somos socios.
Eduardo, tell us about how you ended up working with Carlos Trio and Brian Azzarello, and why are they so great for you to work together with?
Primero que no solo, ambos eran muy inteligentes, digo, porque Carlos Trillo ya falleció. Ambos guionistas resultaron ser muy inteligentes y digo que son inteligentes porque le dan al artista en la parte gráfica el espacio que nosotros necesitamos.
I know what he's saying. It gives the artist room to interpret their own vision.
Más o menos para relacionarlo con el cine. Yo siempre pensé que, bueno, tengo el guionista que me va a escribir una historia, pero luego el rol de director, camarógrafo, escenógrafo, iluminador y demás, soy yo, como artista gráfico. Entonces ellos tienen que ser conscientes de que me tienen que dar todos esos roles, ceder esos roles para que yo pueda lograr hacer algo interesante con lo que ellos han escrito. Comparing with the cinema. In cinema, my role is director.
Yes,
Camera.
yes.
Camera. Light, you know, you play with shadows and, well, they are very clever in their role. So
Do they tell you perspective? Do they give you that, or they give you that space?
no, they give me a lot of space, a lot of freedom to do whatever I like.
How did you start working with Brian first?
That time, Brian saw the story, $100 story, to Vertigo. The editor at that time was Azzarello, called me for making samples for this project. And not only me, but also two another artists. So it was funny because at that time, you remember facts? He said, well, Brian, here are three artists, just pick up your choice who you love to work with. So my lucky was the first, or maybe Axel manipulated, the situation, and he said at first.
In 100 Bullets and in Chicanos, you draw Chicano neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where did you get your references from for the barrio?
Was no easy to, because at that time, I traveled for first time in USA in 1995. I started to work with Brian in Honey Bullets in 1997. I've never been in New York or Chicago
Right.
before, so I had to get many books at that time. Books. Now it's easy to this to the computer, but at that time with books.
So finding the reference was another job. So before the phone, before computer, before all of that, what, library? Where are we going? Library?
Exactly. That's it.
Your most famous works are 100 Bullets and Batman. What draws you to stories about crime and horror?
I don't know, maybe the dark side, maybe that. And also black and white. I feel feeling very good doing that. And working in black and white. A little boring to do the same all the time. That's why I decided to do hand color.
En promedio, ¿cuánto tiempo te lleva hacer una página, especialmente teniendo en cuenta que entintas tu propio trabajo?
En promedio yo puedo hacer una página, o hacía una página por día, cuando trabajaba en 100 balas o en Batman, lápiz y tinta. Una página por día trabajando 7 horas y media.
Pencil, ink.
Bien. Y
Ah.
ahora hacer color me toma un poquito más. Se puede llevar un día y medio hacer lápiz y tinta y color, aunque la tinta es solo la línea.
Eduardo, you've been with DC for a long time. I mean, 100 Bullets was 20 something years ago. And you're still working for DC, yes. But you're also doing other things as well with Brian with Distillery. So you're expanding more beyond DC. But what does it mean to you to be a part of the legacy of DC Comics?
Yo le debo mucho a DC Comics. Debo mi carrera. Antes de llegar a DC, trabajé durante 11 años en el mercado europeo, pero no tuve el reconocimiento ni siquiera el reconocimiento, si se quiere, en todo sentido que me ha dado trabajar para DC.
Man, that's great, because you're one of my favorite artists. I'm a big DC fan, so I'm glad that you have this appreciation and that it means so much to you in your life, in your career. Can you tell us, Eduardo, what work, which title, which comic you get a lot of response with from the fans?
Maybe 100 Bullets.
100 Bullets?
Yes, I think so. Batman is important.
What about for you though? Is it 100 Bullets for you? Is that one that your favorite as well?
Yes. I owe everything to 100 Bullets. So.
Yeah. Eduardo,
Awesome.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Blood Brothers Mother, your upcoming book with Brian Azzarello for Distillery?
Bueno, creo que lo sorprendí a Brian primero, porque él no esperaba que yo hiciera el color a mano. Él creía que yo iba a hacer lo mismo que veníamos haciendo hasta ahora, y lo último que habíamos hecho con Brian era Moonshine. Lo mismo que me sucedió con Brian, espero que le suceda a todos los que lean esta historia, que se sorprendan también con algo diferente, un poquito diferente de lo que venía haciendo.
Sí.
La historia es muy buena, muy fuerte, yo la estoy disfrutando muchísimo, no es una historia corta, vamos a hacer varios libros, pero en verdad es una historia que me atrapó a mí como artista, y bueno, eso es importante porque si logra atraparme a mí, yo puedo dar lo mejor de mí para que después los lectores lo puedan disfrutar.
What do you know about Francisco Solano Lopez and Héctor Germán Osterheld and their importance to Argentina?
Para nosotros, esos artistas son un poco los padres de la historieta argentina. Para que ustedes tengan idea, esa historia que hizo Héctor con Solano López Es la primera historia de ciencia ficción que se hizo a nivel internacional.
So they were the first science fiction like comic? Like
Yeah.
wow.
Pero sobre todo con una historia donde se peleaba no solo contra los alienígenas, sino también contra el imperio. El imperio para ustedes, bueno, ustedes sí lo saben, chicos, pero no sé, el otro chico, para nosotros el imperio es Estados Unidos.
Awesome. Okay, so Eduardo, last question here. Last question, and thank you so much. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to share with your fans?
No, creo que hemos charlado mucho, bueno, sobre todo acerca del último proyecto que va a salir por Distillery. Nada, simplemente sigo siendo una persona que le gusta aprender, continúo aprendiendo y todo lo que hago lo hago pensando en los lectores. Yo sigo siendo aquel niño que creció leyendo cómics y lo único que hago ahora es traducir con mis diseños de alguna manera aquello que a mí me gustaba ver en esas historias que yo leía. Y eso es, si los lectores están contentos con lo que hago, bueno, yo estoy feliz.
So that explains why you still have the passion today.
Yeah, exactly. You need the passion here. As everything you like to do or you like to enjoy your job, you need the passion. I have to say thank you for this kind of chance to talk something about comics with my audience.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we definitely want you back. You're a legend. I'm a big fan. Your work is right behind me. So, I mean, I'm a huge, I'm a huge fan. And so thank you very much, Eduardo. Well, that's all for our show. If you like what you see, please subscribe and hit the like button. This is Sig Slayers. I'm Mike, speaking for Mark and Eduardo Risso. We are out. Peace.
Sig Slayers.